Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live. You want to make sure that everybody gets connected. This is Arnold Santiago. We've been doing this for the last couple of weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed the ones that we did before. The one that we have tonight, it's going to be one that is very, very special because we're going to be doing softball. The one that we did before was baseball. Now we're going to be doing softball, and we have an amazing special guest just for you guys to enjoy. Make sure that you keep up with our website, our webpage here in Facebook, Dirt Dog Sport, and on Instagram. That we have the same address, Dirt Dog Sports and Instagram. We're going to be doing next Tuesday at 7 o'clock on Instagram. We're going to have Major Leaguer Pablo Sandoval. He's going to be talking about hitting. He's going to be talking about his life. So make sure you stay in touch with Dirt Dog Sports. Make sure you can send your questions, anything you want Pablo to ask. Make sure you keep sending your videos like we've been doing, because you guys have been doing an amazing job doing all that. And this is for you guys, okay? So let's bring now Dirt Dog's owner, Don Connor, so he could join here in the studio, the Facebook Live from Dirt Dog Sports. So let's get Don here so he could have fun with us and we could get this going. Hi, Don.
Hello there. How we doing, Al?
We're doing okay. We pretty much just letting people know what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Tell them what's going to happen next Tuesday on Instagram with Pablo Sandoval, the Major League. He's going to be there talking baseball. But tonight we have a very, very special program for you guys. So what do we got tonight, Don?
Yeah, so just to slide in, obviously I'm trying to reach out to a lot of different people. So we got some great baseball talent out there that's jumping in and helping us out, helping to analyzing the kids, giving us some feedback, giving us ideas, talking baseball, talking softball. So, so tonight, reaching out into the softball world, and we got Elicia, the RZO, once again, saw the bio, saw her videos, and became an instant fan. We always talk about from a Dirt Dog's perspective, hustle, leaving it all in the field. If you folks that have seen some of the videos out there, you have to be impressed. Once again, it's great to watch. So yeah, can't wait to get some input from Elicia.
No, thanks God you're the one saying it. Yeah, I'm gonna let you keep saying Elicia, Horacio, because I got my trouble. But I mean, you're gonna hear her story. We're gonna interview her right now, because that's what we're gonna be doing now. We'll interview her first, so you guys get to know her. We get to know her story. I mean, because everybody have a story, people. We get to see them when they're in the top, but it's not easy to getting in the top. Everybody have to go through something. We heard last week, Rene Rivera, Major League catcher, he had to go through a lot of stuff. Elicia, I'm pretty sure that her story is going to be one that you guys are going to probably say, this is not an easy thing. So what Dirt Dog keeps telling us, the coaches and all that, we need to keep working on that, because you have no idea. Don, one point before we go to Elicia, talking about Rene Rivera, he was not even a catcher.
Yep, yeah.
So how many times you tell a lot of the kids at Dirt Dog, and they just I want to be a shortstop. That's it. I'm a shortstop.
Yep, and that's why we do our best to kind of teach everyone at least two positions. I think I always throw out the percentage of like 80% of kids that go from high school and play college ball, end up playing in a different position, and that's probably right around there. So once again, the more you can learn and listen and pick up little things from middle infielders, corner infielders, outfielders, pitchers, catchers. You're that far ahead of everyone else that you're jumping on a field with.
And remember, guys, like I always tell you, I got my scholarship to go to college as a pitcher. I was supposed to be the next Jose Santiago in my house. I was going to be the middle, and I ended up getting drafted as a first baseman. And then 3 years later, I was catching and playing third base. But I was able to play every position when I was growing up, because my dad and my coaches kept saying, play every position. At least you understand the game better, even if you don't get to play those older, but you understand better. When you hit a ball to center field, Now you got an idea. That ball goes one way. You're like, oh, I remember when I play center field. That's not an easy throw. I'm going to take an extra base. And that's what we're going to be talking with Elicia. And we're not going to make them wait anymore. We're going to bring in special guest, Elicia de Horacio. I hope I said it right.
Hello.
Hello, Elicia.
Hello, Elicia. Nice. First of all, nice, nice to have you here. Thank you for, getting together with us at Third Dog. This is something that we started for the kids and for the girls. We want them to, at least get able to do something. Like you pretty much understand, we're in an area that there's not that many months that we could play outside. There's not that many days keep going by, weeks keep getting by. So the kids getting a little aggravated, frustrated because they've been practicing last October, November to try to play this year. But this is going to be something that they're going to enjoy a lot. They already start working out outside. So I think your story and everything you could tell us tonight will be great for them.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so actually, we've already seen, once we put it out there, that you were jumping in, and like I was just saying before you jumped on, how I became an instant fan looking at your videos. We try to teach the girls, live up to the name, be a dirt dog, give it 100%. And once again, looking at the videos, and a lot of the girls were looking at the videos, a lot of the baseball players were looking at the videos as well. We could tell the uptick in videos that have come in over the last couple of days also kind of gets people, you can tell that they're starting to get, really jazzed up about it. So just to give a quick intro in terms of Elicia, high school, ended up being a athlete of your county. Was that your senior year?
My junior year. Yeah, my junior year.
Okay, and then first team All-Star as well. And then Elicia went on to play at Marshall. Yes. From 2014 to 2018, ended up holding so you still hold the record at Marshall for stolen bases?
Yes. Yep. Marshall and Conference USA.
Very good. That's awesome. That's the type of stuff as we get into this, try to get some feedback from you in terms of, kind of the how you got to that level from a stolen base standpoint. But yeah, that's great. And then played 8 years on the Puerto Rican national team.
Yeah, this summer will be summer 8. If we're able to get out there, it'll be summer 8.
Yeah, knock on wood, we'll be out there.
Well, Elicia, let's get it started. We're going to do a little interview so Elicia could tell us everything about her. Don, anytime you want to jump in and make a question, just go ahead and do it. Don't worry about it. Elicia, the first thing I want to tell you is that I would like you to tell people, all the kids that are watching us right now and parents, where you were born, and what you were doing from 8, 7 years old until 9, 10 years old about sports. But it doesn't have to be that you were completely a softball player. You might be doing something else too. And we would like kids to know how you started.
Okay. I was born in New York, Poughkeepsie. So I kind of started the whole baseball, softball thing. My dad tried to keep me in baseball as long as, now they bump the girls out a little sooner, but my dad, me being his first kid, tried to keep me in his baseball era as long as he could. I switched over to softball when I was about 9, but I did everything growing up. I ran track, I played volleyball, I played softball, baseball. I was a cheerleader. I don't know why I did that. I was a cheerleader for a little bit. I played flag football because that's all they let girls do at the time. But I was just, always one of those people who I had to be going. I had to be doing something. Like up in that area, it gets cold, so you can't play softball all year round. You can't play baseball all year round. So that's kind of where the volleyball and the basketball and like things like that came into play. The indoor sports just gave me something to do when I wasn't training, when I wasn't playing or things like that. But sports have definitely been something that I've always done. And I think softball was one of those things that I knew was going to be like the sport around that age, around 8 or 9. I tried out for my first travel ball team when I was 8 years old. We just moved to Florida. We were in Florida for a week. and we were driving around, and there was a park, and I was like, Dad, like let's stop, and they were doing a tryout, and we had no idea what was going on. We've literally been in state for a week. It was a 10 and under team. I just turned 8, like I think like 3 weeks prior, and my mom gave me a whole like, you're too young, like let's wait. So, and my dad, no, go ahead, like if she doesn't make it, she doesn't make it, and she knows that's and 8 years old out there. And my mom still tells me now, she's like, I'm so glad your dad was there, because she's like, I was against it, and I ended up making the team. I was 8 years old. I didn't really play that much at first, but when they finally gave me like my opportunity, I never got taken off the field.
Nice.
So it was just one of those things where like I knew softball was what I wanted to do, and I was never going to let my age or how big or small I was or anything like that keep me off the field. And I had a really good support system behind me. My parents are awesome. Until I went to college, they never missed a game ever. And I made that decision to move all the way up to West Virginia and go to college, so it made it a little harder on them. They still made the trip a couple times. But yeah, just having a really good support system behind me and being really passionate about the game definitely got me to where I am today ball-wise.
Nice. Now, what position did you start off playing at that age of 8, 9, 10?
Okay. I was a catcher. I played everywhere. I kind of was one of those people where I did play for my dad a lot. My dad was my coach until I got to high school. So I was always, Dad put me wherever we don't have someone good enough to be, and I loved playing middle infield. I loved it. But I was like, Dad, like if you can find middle infielders, like I'll play third. I'll play first. Like I'll catch. I'll do this. Like he knew that he could kind of build a team off other people, like get a talented team, a talented group of girls, and then whatever he was missing, he could just throw me there. And that kind of helped me a lot growing up. I was a catcher up until college. I did play other positions. Obviously, you go to showcases and they want to throw people in all different places. So I played all different positions. But up until college, I was a catcher. And I knew I was recruited to be a middle infielder, even though they watched me play and I was catching. So I didn't even bother bringing my gear up to college or anything like that. When I came to college, I transitioned to middle infield. On the national team, I started on the national team my junior year in high school. So I was a catcher at the time, and they let me catch like our first game. And we played the Dominican Republic, and I was 15 at the time, and this girl just trucked me. And the coach was like, yeah, like when you're a little older, we'll put you back there. So they threw me in the outfield, and I loved it. I fell in love with the outfield. I started as a right fielder, and my first couple years I played right field. Then I played left field for a little bit, and now I play center field. So I kind of jumped around everywhere.
And that's pretty nice what Elicia is saying for the kids and the girls that are out there. I mean, it sounded the way you were talking at that age, the way you were telling us the story, you were smiling a lot. So there has to be a lot of fun during that time. And that's one of the things Dirt Dog always try to teach the kids. We need to have fun. Plus, the parents need to understand. The kids need to have fun. I mean, tell everybody, parents and the kids, how important it is to really, really enjoy and have fun, at least before you hit 14, 15, that of course, there's some other stuff that now you could be thinking about doing.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really important. I think that's what was one of my biggest things. My dad was really hard on me, but he was hard on me like behind closed doors. When we're out on the field or we were at practice or we're out to lunch with the team, like when we were doing stuff like that, like we were always smiling, always happy. He was always like, oh, good job. You did this well. You did this well. You did this well. And then when we got home, it was like, okay, like you did all this good, but like, now let's go work on this. And cause this was a little, that looked a little rough this weekend. But from my siblings to, you know, my parents and like aunts, uncles, it was so big to me just to kind of see the joy that they got watching me play. My little brother is without a doubt, my biggest fan, you know, and that's kind of one of those things that kept me going, seeing how supportive he was and just being able to look in it, like, if I did something good, like I knew I could look at my brother and my brother's up against the fence. Like, he's not saying that everybody's brother needs to be up against the fence, you know, but just stuff like that, like the support and, you know, the positivity, and that stuff is so contagious. It is so contagious, you know. There's so many times I was at the field and me and my dad are leaving. I'm like, Dad, like, why is he yelling at her like in public? Like, why is he like, wait till you get to the car, like things like that. And I think that's something that I learned, you know, when I was at Georgia Tech as a graduate assistant, just hearing, you know, about when they were on visits and they were recruiting, and that's stuff that like that coaches pay attention to at the next level. You know, they don't want to see, you know, they're recruiting your family. They're not just recruiting you. Like, they're going to have to deal with all of you.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, like, positivity is contagious. It's so contagious. And as a player, like, we love the support. As teammates, we love seeing our teammates, you know, be positive. If one girl is sitting in the corner crying, like, yeah, she's in the corner crying, but everyone else is worried about why she's crying, rather than, you know, like, you can say, oh, let her go cry, but in the back of your head, you're like, why the heck is she crying? You know, so it's whether you think you're feeding off other people or not, or you're like, oh no, other people don't affect me. They do, because you don't have to verbalize it to, like, for them to know, you know. So it's just, as a teammate and, you know, as a team and as a coach and things like that, it's so much more enjoyable playing the game when everybody's happy, like success, failure, anything like that. Like, softball, you're going to fail. You're going to fail in softball and baseball. If not, these games are going to be days long, you know, like, you're going to fail. But the energy is unmatched. Like, you just have to have that energy.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear, because that's kind of the message that, you know, we hear from a lot of coaches, you know, whether it's high school coaches, or definitely at the college level. I'm sure Arnold's, you know, seen it even at the professional level, you know, where, yeah, you don't have, number one, you don't have to deal, you know, with crazy parents, or you don't have to deal with, you know, kids that just, you know, aren't getting and not maturing, aren't enjoying the game. And yeah, no, that's huge. So that's great. I love hearing those in-depth stories of, you know, the key is to have fun, you know?
Yeah.
And
softball's fun. Softball's so much fun.
And you got it. I mean, it's a failure sport. I mean, softball, baseball, it's not like basketball. I mean, you could, you know, you find a way to make a hoop. Sometimes you could go 2 or 3 games without getting a hit. But if you know and understand what's going on with the failure and keep confidence on yourself, maybe Elicia is 0 for 12 in 3 games, but then she makes the best play to win the game, and that makes us go to the next step. And she's going to forget about those 12 at bat. But if she's not confident and she's thinking about it, and she got a lot of people on her brain going with so many things, I mean, she might not be able to make that play. And
that is so, it's so, like you said, you can go 0 for 12. You know, as much as I hate to share this story, but I still remember it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and we were playing Australia, and the pitcher had my number. You know, it was a long game, and I struck out 3 times that game. And in my 4th at bat, you know, we're down by 1, and there was a runner on second, and I, you know, just slapped the ball down the line past the third baseman. And it's like, okay, she just struck me out 3 times in a row. I only saw 9 pitches, like 3 times in a row. Like, she had it, you know. But that last at bat, I was like, no, like, I got this. If I struck out again, it's fine. I did it 3 times already. Like, what's one more, you know? But it was just going into the next at bat, like, with a completely clear mind. Like, who cares what you did? You know, all that. Like, now, yes, you struck out 3 times, but you were down by 1 with a runner on base, getting ready to score. Like, now is your time, because trust me, you hit that girl in, nobody cares about the 3 times you struck out.
Exactly.
Like you hit that girl in and y'all win the game, like you're the superhero. Like, yeah, you saw 10 pitches and you struck out 3 times, but on that 10th pitch, like you let her have it, you know?
And that's good, Don, because that's what usually we do as a coach. We try to all get together and always tell the kids there's some, I mean, you're going to understand there's some kids that need a little pat in the back. Some other ones need a little, in the ear, do this and do that. But you don't want to be all over them in a game because they strike out twice. Because you might lose him in the 6th inning, 7th inning, but you might need him in a clutch situation. So that's pretty good because that's what we usually try to do. All right, bro. I mean, you start playing ball. How was your progress? Like, oh man, I could tell you I wasn't that good from 8 to 10. I was like, making it with everybody. Then I hit 11 or 12. So I'll tell you one thing, I couldn't hit nothing until I was 12.
I think so. My thing always was like my confidence. That was really big with me. So when I was younger, I always wanted to be out there and I always wanted to play. And I like I said, trying out for that team when I was 8 years old. But then it was like, well, how can I get better at this? Because this is not what I'm good at. And I hate not being good at things. Like I hate it so much. I love success more than I hate failure, but I hate not being good at things. So my confidence when I was younger, I would say that like 8 to 10 kind of time was pretty low. But I worked so hard. We had a field that we could see from my backyard and, my dad was there every single day with me. My mom was there all the time. My brothers, I worked. That's what I want to do. I never, not that kids shouldn't do this stuff, but like, I never went to like sleepovers or like dances. And like, I just wanted to play softball. Like I got out of school and they're like, oh, let's go to the park. Nope, I'm going to the field with my dad. Like I wanted to be so good. Like I wanted to be successful. And so that little time from like 8 to 10 when I wasn't, because I knew I was the youngest, so the girls they were better than me. They've been playing together longer, and I wanted to be like them at that time. Like I wanted to be as good as them. I knew I was tiny, but if I saw, Megan hit the ball over the fence twice in one game, like, yes, next weekend I'm hitting the ball over the fence twice. Like that's just how I was. And I would go to the field with my dad and he's like, we were just here. And I was like, yeah, but Megan hit 2 home runs. Like I got to hit at least 2 home runs. I was so competitive. I had such a competitive spirit. And then that kind of, flipped my switch when I hit like 11, 12 and my dad started coaching me. And it got to the point where like, I felt like people were trying to compete with me. Like now people wanted to, Elicia did this, now I got to do this. And I was like, okay, well, I did that. If you do that, then I have to go do something else that you can't do, So it was always looking for ways to stand out or looking for ways to push my teammates or be competitive. Like, yeah, we're all on the same team and we're this, but if we're picking up balls and you shoot one from first base to the pitcher's mound and making a bucket, well, I'm taking 3 steps back, and we're going to go back and forth doing stuff like that. And that just pushes you. Like if you have that spirit and you see someone do stuff like that, like you want to push, like you want to, eat 10 grapes faster than they do. Like you want to do things like that. It's just fun. Like it's just, those are the things.
That's something I'm pretty sure Don did it too when he was growing up. Because we're competitive but at least that's showing that you have a goal. And that's what Don likes to tell everybody out there though. I mean, you have a goal, give it all you can for that goal. You try to reach that goal. But
and when you reach it, make another one.
There you go. Yep. You have to always keep, your goal was eating the grape. Your goals tomorrow might be running to the house before somebody else get there. I mean, but you have to make goals in everything you do just to, you keep going. So Don, that's a pretty good message for dirt.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing. It's the consistent message, that we want the kids to hear. So it's great hearing from people that have worked as hard as you have to get to where you wanted to be. That it just doesn't happen overnight. You need to put the work in, And I'm sure there was a point even in your early years that, you know, there's part of your game probably that you had to work that much harder at. You know, and that's the key. Yeah, once again, that's great. That's great to hear, and that's the key that we want the girls to hear out there. You know, it just doesn't.
Just want to find something to get better.
Yeah.
And now that Dawn is talking about that, I'm pretty sure there's some things that you weren't able to do. You said some of them, a few, that probably felt like a sacrifice that you were making. Like if people are looking from outside saying, wow, she's really making a sacrifice. But I mean, for what you're telling us, you pretty much were having fun and enjoying it while you were doing it. And that didn't stop you to be a regular friend to your friends when you were at school, when you went to do other stuff. It's just that baseball, it's what you like, and you know, you were going to give it all you got, and look what you got.
Yeah, when you're on the field, like whatever is between the fences, between those lines, like that's your priority right now. Like after you want to go, you know, FaceTime your boyfriend after, go ahead, go do that. But when you're on the field, like you're on the field, you know, there's nothing better than being out on the field, like with your, like you're playing ball with your friends, like you're doing what you love doing with the people you love doing it with. So like that's, you know, there's nothing better than that. And I think it's just so important to like really dedicate those 2 to 4 hours that you're at practice, like be completely at practice. Like if that should be like your escape. You know, if you love the game, that should be your escape. You failed a test in school. That's fine. You want to know why? Because I get to go do what I love doing and be at the field for 2 to 4 hours where I don't have to worry about that test, you know? So it's just that, like,
that's long gone.
Yeah, find that love and use that as an escape.
Now, one quick question. Now, in terms of slap hitting and things like that, when did you introduce that into your arsenal?
College.
Did you?
I was a right-handed hitter until college.
Really?
And I got recruited, and coach told me I was going to be a middle infield left-handed hitter. I was a right-handed catcher growing up. Growing up, I was a right-handed catcher, and I actually didn't play softball my senior year just because I committed my junior year. I didn't play my senior year just because I knew I needed to make that transition. And I would have much rather not taken up a spot on the team, like to try and turn myself into a different player, you know? So I decided to not play, and I ran track. So I didn't play and I ran track. But I would leave track practice and I would go to the field and, you know, work on what I had to do because I knew going into college, coach wants a left-handed slapping middle infielder. Can you turn that light on? A left-handed slapping middle. Oh, great. That was perfect. Coach wanted, you know, a left-handed slapping middle infielder, and I wasn't leaving Florida to go to West Virginia to sit on the bench. So
that's huge. That's huge. That's quite a change it took there.
Yeah, it was hard. Don't get me wrong, it was hard. I couldn't play a bunt down from the left side until my junior year, so it was hard. But
that's what I was gonna ask you. I mean, how many drills you have to, you know, work on because now you're doing it in the side that you're not used to it. And I don't, you know, even if you're trying to slap the ball, you still want to hit the ball.
Yeah.
You're not just slapping it because you can't just go up there and try to make sure they're gonna slap it the whole time. And I mean, what kind of stuff you have to do? I mean, I'm guessing that. I mean, that happens to me. I'm guessing if everybody had to be at the field at 2 o'clock, I'm getting that 12.
Yeah.
I don't have to do a lot of stuff.
I think I like the tee was my best friend. I didn't even try to hit a ball like from the left side that wasn't on a tee for like months. Just because I was like, I'm gonna get this down like before I let people start throwing balls at me. And but it did take a lot of time. It took a lot of time. But like I said, I had that mindset to where I wasn't going to move so far away from home to not play. And if that's what coach wanted me to do, then obviously that's what I need to do to be on the field and in the lineup. So that's what I dedicated my time to for that year that I committed until I moved to college.
Now, were you stealing a lot of bases in high school? Is that kind of where you saw your speed and kind of?
Yeah. And that was always my thing. When I was when I was 8 and I played on that team, I didn't play a lot, but I always got to pinch run. So I was like, well, if people aren't going to remember me because I made a dive and play, well, then I'm going to do this fancy little stolen base or, you know, do something. I loved being in rundowns. Like, they like intrigued me. So like I used to do it on purpose, like when I was little, and you know, just try to get in a rundown on purpose, whether I was safe at the next base or safe at the base I was at. Like I just did that on purpose, just because I knew that speed wise, like that was going to be my game. And I say it all the time, like, I don't think I'm the best softball player, but like my speed has gotten me where I am. And I knew that. Yeah, I was a really good right-handed hitter in high school. Like, you know, I'm not saying I wasn't, but at the same time, like, my speed got me recruited to college. My speed was one of the reasons that I was on varsity all 4 years in high school. My speed, you know, like that was something that, you know, base running and stealing, and that was my thing. That's actually how I got recruited.
No, but that's good because, I mean, your speed probably made the coach feel better about saying, I think we could make her a left-handed hitter.
Yeah.
Speed gonna help her a lot. So without you even knowing, you know, there's something that you were working good at it the whole time. Mm-hmm. You probably drove a lot of coaches crazy when you were young.
Well, I'm pretty sure when I got recruited by Marshall, I wasn't even playing the field on that game. It was at a showcase, so you know how like you can just free sub anyone. I wasn't even playing the field that game that I got recruited. Like, I was just running for everybody. Like, I would score and they would just throw me back on base because it was a showcase. Like, you could do that, you know? So I wasn't even in the lineup, and I'm pretty sure that's the first time that they ever seen me play before. And I was just running bases.
No, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, we would like to know two things, you know? We would like to know how you ended up in Marshall, West Virginia, because I used to live in Huntington, West Virginia for 5 years. And I used to practice with the baseball team before I go to spring training. Rick was in the major leagues. We were working together with the team. The team baseball team wasn't that good.
Oh, he's awesome.
Everything was Sean Pennington, Randy
Rick.
Moss,
Awesome.
Jason Williams, everything was football. But man, that's a long way. That's definitely, I mean, there's really nothing going on there. I mean, and how you ended up in the Puerto Rico national team.
Okay, I'll start with the national team because I was first. I was guest playing for some team when I think I was like 13, and I was guest playing for a team, and the national team was on their way to South Africa for the World Championships, and we had a showcase, and they played in the tournament, and teams could volunteer to like play against them just to give them practice games. So the team that I was guest playing for was like, oh, let's do it. I'm like, why not? And I caught, and I had a really good game against them. And then they found out I was only 13, and they told me I had to wait till I was a little older. So once I hit 15, they were like, oh, well, come play on the junior team. And then we played in the junior tournament my first year, and they were like, after tournament, they sent us all of our flight itineraries, and I was like, I don't live in Oklahoma, like something's wrong. They're like, oh no, we're gonna let you go play with the women's team. And I was like, Dad won't be home for like another 2 weeks. So I was just, I honestly was really shocked when I started on the women's team so young. I worked my butt off to make the junior team, so that wasn't really like, I wasn't as shocked with that. But so just playing, I happened to be in the right place at the right time, and you know, played against them, and kind of just stayed in contact with them. I went out of my way to stay in contact with them. Just, hey, saw you guys played, good job. You know, I was young at the time, so I didn't really know what to do. I was just like, congrats, you won, you know. But so that was kind of the national team, and I've just really stayed with it these past 8 years. I even played for a team on the island. They do like island tournament, and each city has like their own team. So I play for a team on the island, which is pretty cool. And then college, I didn't know what Marshall was at all before I didn't know where it was. I never even seen the movie. Like, I didn't know anything about Marshall. So when I was playing on this team, and then after the game, the coach handed me like a business card, and I just put it in my pocket. I like looked at it and I was like, okay. And I like put it in my pocket. I was like, I'm going somewhere in Florida. Like, so I put it in my pocket, and I guess my mom found it like when she was doing laundry or something. And my dad's friend actually played football at Marshall. So, you know, my dad knew like the whole, oh my gosh, Marshall, it's so cool. I was like, yeah, it's not in Florida. Like, thanks for nothing, you know? And he was like, let's go on a visit. Like, I heard the campus is pretty good. I was like, no, Dad, like, it's not. He's like, come on, like, let's just go. This is what kids your age do. They go on visits. So we came up to Huntington. It was in January, so it was snowing. And we landed at the little tri-state airport, which it's smaller probably than any room any of us are sitting in right now. One plane in, one plane out at a time on the top of a mountain. So I'm really good at sleeping on planes. So I had no idea, like, I wasn't looking out the window, wasn't anything. And then I got off the plane and you see nothing but trees because you're on the top of a mountain. And I was like, Dad, like, you really made me come up here. Like, really? I was like, what are we getting into? And then we're driving, you know, from the airport to the campus. And I was like, oh yeah, no. I was like, but no. I mean, this is not.
I mean, because
this is not Orlando, like, at all.
It's a big culture change. I mean, for me, it was from Puerto Rico to go there. It was like, whoa. So I can't imagine you deciding to go to college there. I mean, football, I mean, they're good at football. Basketball, they're pretty good. So you understand those. But don't decide to go play softball there or baseball. Well, it's a big culture change. I mean,
it's not warm.
No, that was big. But when I was on my visit, I loved it. You know, when we finally got out from everything around Marshall and got to Marshall, I instantly fell in love. I fell in love with the coaches, which I think was, you know, the biggest thing for me, because I was like, I graduated high school, I was 17. So I knew I was moving to college, only 17, because my birthday's in January, so I was gonna be 17 my whole first semester in college. But they literally made me feel like I was at home. They took me out on the field, like, obviously football wasn't in season, but like the football field, and they're like, oh, wait till like a game day, like it's packed. And I was like, whatever, this goes in the middle of nowhere, like it doesn't get that crazy. And then we went to a basketball game, and the basketball team was so bad that year. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what are we doing here? But team-wise, like the coaches, like I said, the community, like everyone was so welcoming and like so loving, and it really caught my heart. You know, I honestly could have gone probably to any school in Florida I wanted to, but nothing, like, I did not step on one campus that caught my heart the way Marshall did.
And it's funny, and that's the thing, you know, we tell the kids to go visit, you know, 2, 3, 5, 6 schools.
Take the visits,
and that's gonna be that. And then there's going to be that one school that for some reason, it's just going to hit you like a ton of bricks. And it's like, okay, this is it. This is the place I want to be.
Yeah, even if it's somewhere that you, like, don't ever want to be, like, you take the visits anyways, because even if you don't like it, like, now you know what to look for in your next visit. Like, if you go to, you know, say you come to Marshall and you don't like it because, you know, their field's all turf and you want your home field to be dirt. Okay, well, now you know that you want your home field to be, you know what I mean? So, like, literally take those visits. And they're so much fun. Like, visits are so fun. You get to go on the field during games and, like, stuff that you're not going to do when you're in college unless you're hosting a recruit. You know, like, I went on the field once when I was in college for a football game, and that was to get to get our rings. Like, besides that, I was never on the field again until I graduated and I was working for Marshall, you know, so.
That's a special message. I mean, I used to tell the kids at Dirt Dog too, I went to Iowa and there was only cornfield, there was nothing going on. Yeah. But they told me, you want to play professional, you want to give yourself a shot, this is the place to go. And you give it a try and see how it goes. I mean, yeah, you adapt yourself and you have a goal. We go back to that goal. I'll have a goal and I want to give it a all and see what happened.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. But I did it. I mean, if you say no, I'm not going there, and then all of a sudden nothing happened, you're like, man, what would have happened if I would have gone there? So that was pretty nice. Don, I think now we're ready for the part that all the kids are waiting.
Yeah, definitely.
And all that. We're gonna start doing now, Elicia. We're gonna bring some videos.
Okay.
You could jump in on those videos, whatever you think that you could, say about it, like any tips or something. And then at the end of that video, then, we'll come back together here and you could say whatever extra you want to do, any drills that you think might help that kind of hitter, because they're all gonna, you're gonna notice the hitter, so you have a pretty good idea. So let's say hi to Alex Santiago first.
The man behind the scenes.
And I want to say thanks to Manuel Pirivega, that is the guy that got in touch with us, and Alex was talking to him, and he got us Elicia to be here with us. So Pirivega, no te preocupes, gracias por todo, eres un caballete y te queremos.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't have said it better.
Okay, Alex, we got Bella. I think it's Bella, the first.
Yeah, Bella Kuznets.
Sorry, I gotta get a little close. Okay, yeah, I think it's so important to just stay loose. Hitting is probably the most fun part of the game, so just stay loose. Don't get too uptight. It's really nice how you use your lower body though, because I'm really big on that. I struggled with that a lot, like not getting my hips around. So I think it's really good to see that you already know that concept, to really use your legs and use your lower half, because that's where a lot of your power generates from.
Okay. Very good.
And one thing that I really focus on when I hit on a tee, just because I get pull happy sometimes, is staying inside the ball. Really focus on hitting the inside part of the ball. And then that makes it a lot easier when, you get those pitchers who can hit both sides of the plate really well. If you train yourself to like really stay inside the ball, then when you see that inside pitch, you're not going to get as jammed, or I don't know if there's other words that you guys use, but like you're not,
don't get beat.
Yeah.
But when you say inside the ball, we hered Rene Rivera.
And Rene saying the same thing.
That too, to the baseball players. But since this is softball, it might be a little different in softball. You have to be probably a little quicker to try to get to the ball.
Definitely
because,
quicker,
the distance is not as far. So when you say try to stay inside the ball, if there's anything that has to do with their front elbow or shoulder, anything that you think that will be good for them to work on, so she could stay in that practice or stay through the ball.
I used to do a lot of like knob to contact stuff that you can do. Like you can do it off front toss, you can do it off a tee. It's super easy to do off a tee. Just put a tee super close to you, and literally just throw your knob to contact. Because if your knob is going to contact when you're here, like your hands are going to stay close to your body, because that's where the ball is. So don't put the ball, far away from you. Literally put the tee right up against you, so you're literally feeling your hands kind of come through that slot. I know hitting wise and slapping wise, like it may be a little different, but like sloppers, that's something that I work on so much, because that's what I want to do. I want to hit everything to the other side of the field. So slapping wise, you can do the same exact thing with your cross. Like get in your cross step already and, be stationary, and same thing, just, hands inside up against your body, and just feel like your arms going through that slot to where your knob goes to contact.
What do you think, Don?
Yeah, no, good stuff.
All right, so now we're gonna have Taylor Dolan, I think it is. Alex?
Yep. And we have two 14-year-old teams. One's an older 14 and one's a younger 14.
Okay.
and Taylor's on the younger squad.
Okay.
But has some great skills.
Oh yeah, I actually wrote down stuff down for this one. I think just keeping your body more centered, and not that weight change is bad, but the more that you rock, like from your backside to your front side, your eyes change. Like the level of your eyes are changing, and if you can keep your body centered, you can see it really good from that side, kind of how like your eye level changes. So if you can just get more centered and not get too far on your front foot and like use your backside as your power, then I think that's just one thing that I would work on. But
I mean, if there's anything else, I mean, watching her, we could tell she's a little taller compared to all the other girls. And usually when you're a little taller, and I'm asking you because you're the softball person, I know baseball stuff. Like in baseball, that person, there will be somebody trying to work and try to get your hands a little lower.
Yeah.
Try to get through the ball first, to learn how to through the ball, and then your body will follow instead of trying to stay way too up high. But softball, I refer to you in that one. I mean, I'm just looking at her.
Yeah,
you're a little taller.
I can definitely say from being like a former catcher, when we do get those taller girls coming up to bat, we want to keep the ball low. They have a little more whip, they got those long arms and, that kind of stuff. And they, like she did with her, back and forth, they tend to use their bodies more, like their body as a whole, just because they have so much more body to use. But pitchers are going to try and kill them low. And I think I would kind of say that it's the same baseball and softball wise, like really being able to, get your body to feel hitting those different slots. And that comes with, like you said, hitting through the ball, and not getting too far out front. And when you start like rocking forward, you tend to get out front. You're already out front because you're rocking, and then now you're rocking and you want to hit the ball even sooner. So that gets a lot of those, like the rollovers, like the balls to first base and the balls to second base. So if you just keep your weight centered, keep your weight back, that's going to help you see the ball better. And then, you work from your feet up. Once you get your legs and your hips and all that stuff centered and you're comfortable, then you start throwing your hands.
And once you're rocking like that, you're ripe for a nice changeup as well.
Yeah. You're gonna be spinning around.
Yeah.
I mean, Dawn, you know her more. You got to see her more at their dog. So I'm pretty sure you pretty much notice a few things too now that it's helping you to understand better, and the parents too.
Yeah, like Elicia said, I think she mentioned it with Bella, is the key is be loose and be athletic. The more loose you can get, the more athletic you can get, then your body can get into those right hitting positions. So. Okay.
Now we're going to have McKenna, and you could say the last name, Don, because I'm not good at the last.
McKenna Kirshner.
Okay, McKenna Kirshner. So, Alex, whenever you're ready, my man.
So I would say, try not to let your barrel go too soon. Like, I'm trying to think of like the wording to say this.
So kind of like she's swinging more with the barrel rather than throwing the hands.
Yeah. Like let your hands go to the ball into the zone first.
Yeah.
When your hands go first, I know a lot. They're doing so much like PVC work nowadays, like hitting wise. A lot of different drills, using PVCs just to kind of keep your body like tight and not let your bat cast. Don't let your bat head cast out and then like just drag through the zone. I think if you really get to the point where you start throwing your hands, then that whip is going to come with the bat head. So just don't let your bat head go through the zone first. Like, don't let it get too far away from your body too quick.
What would be the best drill that you could tell at least her, Makina, to work on that? I don't know. I mean, whatever you guys use. I know baseball usually tell you, well, let's do a drill with softball that you with softball that you don't move your legs. Just your upper body, so try to get your hands through. What kind of drill?
Yeah, there's something you don't even need a field. You don't even need anything. You can go outside. Let's not do this inside. You can go outside and like just stand facing a wall. You know, put the bat up against your belly button and put the other side of the bat up against the wall, just so you can measure how far away from the wall you are, and just take dry swings. Because if you cast your head out, you're going to swing and you're going to hit the house. But if you're a bat away from the wall and you keep your hands inside, like in that slot, and then throw your hands and the bat head, you're not going to touch the wall. And you see these videos of kids doing this all the time, like, oh, let me get my little brother and stand away from him and I promise I won't hit you, you know, and they make that swing and they don't hit them. It's because, you know, they let their hands go first and the bat, you know, the bat head whips through after. So that is really good for that. And I love dry work. So I think that muscle memory and that repetition of doing something as simple as that is going to carry over to a tee or carry over to front toss and things like that. And you can do that same drill. You know, you're on a field and you don't want to be close to a wall. Take like a pitching screen or a bow net, or, you know, stack some buckets up, you know, and make it tall enough to where your swing, you can tell if you're going to hit it or not. But yeah, that's something you can do dry. You can do at home. Yeah. You can really do anywhere. I wouldn't recommend inside, but anywhere else.
I was just gonna say, no inside unless you like the paint.
No inside swinging.
But I mean, it's good, kids and girls. You know, it's a good feedback for you guys to understand. Don, sometimes we have practice Saturday hitting, and we got stations because not everybody could hit at the same time. And sometimes some kids and some girls, they take it for granted. When they're hitting off the tee, they're like, I'm wasting my time here.
Yeah.
It's so boring. No, you get something out of every drill. Every drill will do something for you. And then when you go home, like she said, you add more. So when you come back to the next practice, you are a little ahead of yourself, because forget about everybody else. You want to be better yourself. Yeah. Once you get there, they want to get you, you want to get them. So if you're not prepared, you're going to have some trouble. So
pick one thing and perfect it, rather than, you know, like, oh, I was dropping my shoulder, I was not getting my foot down, I wasn't this, I wasn't that. Okay, so this week I'm going to get my foot down on time. Now I got it. My foot is down, you know, so then this week I'm going to do this. So now after week 2, your foot's down and you're doing this good. You know, it's just, try not to fix everything at once. You know, we're not robots. You know, you can't take the batteries out and put new ones in and you're perfect. You know, just really pick one thing and perfect it. Perfect your craft. You know,
that's great advice.
Yeah, like just perfect your craft. Want to be perfect. Want to be great. Like.
And Lord knows there's always so much to work on as well. So it's, you know, you're going to have.
Everyone has I still have things to work on, you know, like everyone has things to work. You are never going to be this perfect athlete. You're always going to have something to work on.
And then when you get to the older age people, you have to understand one thing. Coaches are not going to be your mom and dad. They're going to tell you, and you're going to have to do this thing for yourself. And you have to make sure that you are putting the work, because when Don is the coach, ready for the game, he could tell if you've been working or just, definitely. Every time she goes out there or every time he goes out there, he doesn't.
Even as a teammate, you can tell which of your teammates are staying after practice, getting extra hitting in, or coming early and running or doing things like that. Like, you can tell.
Yep.
All right, we got one more. We got Olivia Macwell. You ready, Alex?
I would say the same thing. Just work a little more on not dragging the bat through the zone. Like, don't let your bat get too far away, and use your legs. There's a lot of good drills, like elevating your back leg I know they have like those little half pods. I don't know if you guys have those like available or anything like that, but elevate that backside, or even like a slant board. Elevate your backside, and rather than thinking like a squish the bug thought, think of like get off your backside. So like when you're using a slant board, like I like doing a slant board personally, just because you can really push off that board and feel yourself like putting everything that you absolutely have into the ball. So just use your backside and finish all the way through. Your hips, like when you, okay, yeah. So like your hips, let your hips fly. Like after you make contact and you finish, like let your hips finish too. Don't cut your hips off.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I think we could add up to not just Olivia, but most of
everybody.
Kids and the girls,
yeah.
Everybody's doing that, and try to slow down, girls and boys. Once you're in the tee, doesn't mean that you have to hit 40 balls in less than a minute or something. Make sure that every swing counts, and if you have to do 10 or 15 swings, that might be enough. If you build a
routine. Build a routine. I like doing when I'm hitting. I'm like if I'm doing extra work on my own, I'm a in and out of the box every swing kind of person, because when it comes game time, we're in and out of the box every pitch. You're resetting every pitch, and hitting it's so much muscle memory. Like that's why we practice it so much, because you build good or bad habits off of doing something, and so build a routine. Like a lot of times we step in the box and we do the same thing. We step in with our left foot first and our right foot, and we touch the plate, or we do, everybody has their own plate approach. Work that into your practice, because you work that into your practice, and that's like one less thing that you're going to be thinking about in the game. And it's not like it's going to be perfect just because, like I step out of the box at practice and I'm swinging perfect, so in a game I'm going to do it. And say, no, obviously there's success and there's failure, but work that into your everyday hitting, because it's muscle memory. Like the mind is such a crazy thing. Like your mind picks up everything that you do, or everything that you think or say or hear, so working that into your practice is really crucial, because it will carry over. It will.
All right, we're gonna have now some fielding. I mean, you're gonna enjoy the fielding. My favorite. There you go. You're gonna enjoy this. We got Bella first. Bella is gonna be the first video that we're gonna watch fielding.
Infielder.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I really like how you are really big on moving through the ball, because I think that is so huge. Especially, I'm not sure what position you play, Bella, I'm sorry, but like as a middle infielder, we have so much ground to cover, and as a shortstop that throws far, and moving through the ball is so big. So I'm so glad that like at a young age, either that already on your own, or you're being taught that, because that's awesome. When you start working like laterally, doing your backhands and your front hands, like I think something that's really important is to think of your arm as like a hinge at your elbow, not at your shoulder, at your elbow, and really work through the ball. You do really good moving your body through the ball. So now let your arm like start moving too, and not your shoulder, because when you start moving your shoulder, that's when you start booting the balls and things like that, just nice and smooth, and we did things when I was in college. They were everyday things. Like you weren't allowed to take live reps until you did these every day, with tennis balls, and you can do them by yourself. Just, drop the tennis ball, make sure your thumb is underneath the ball and you're fielding it backhands, and it's just your elbow. Same thing with, your forehand, like you're just dropping the ball and receiving it. And we did, 10 each way every single day. And that's just muscle memory. So then when it comes to a live ball, coming out to you, you're doing that exact same thing.
Yeah, it's great that you said that too. I think a lot of the times we'll get the kids inside and, they'll get bored with these specific drills. So they don't, why do we have to do that again? And It's great to hear at the college level, and you see it at the pro level. The pros
and it's
the same drills.
It's crazy to think like there is a lot of people who don't even think to do things like that, because I know I went and worked out an NAIA team a couple months ago, and I was like, okay, we're gonna start with like every days, and they're like, okay, like. Okay. And, I gave them all a tennis ball, and I'm like, okay, find your little space. Like, this is what I want you to do. And they're like, we've never done this before, like ever. And, and you're a collegiate player, so like it is like a lot of people don't think to do them or don't think they're important or, but doing stuff like that is just as important as fielding a ball off a bat, because if you can't do something as simple as that, like as simple as, throwing yourself a tennis ball with one hand and catching it with the other, like imagine how hard it's going to be when you have a whole nother team trying to compete against you, hitting the ball at you as hard as they can because they want to be more successful than you are. So like, if you can't beat yourself at something, like imagine trying to, carry that over and beat somebody else at it.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to batting cages. Most of the kids and girls, they want to, one day the machine that throws it harder. I want to try to hit it, but then you made 10 or 12 swing, but you really didn't get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Because you are cheating to try to get to the ball. Mm-hmm. So your mechanics are pretty much know what you need to do. Instead of having somebody throw you either a soft toss or instead of throwing hard, just try to nice and easy. Get you working, and we see that done a lot.
Yeah.
Not just in third dog or this age.
Everywhere.
They're like, what am I doing? Pitch to me. I said, no, you need to work on this. So that's good.
And it's not even a lot, 8 to 10 reps, because once you start getting like, I know some people want to go and they want to take 20, 30 swings at a time. Your mind our minds do not focus on something that long. Like I know everyone is guilty of this. How often are you in class and your teacher is talking for 30 minutes and you only remember the first 5 minutes of anything that she said? So like, if you have no distractions in class, like all you have to do is sit there and listen and you still can't remember, like imagine trying to be in the box, pick a good or bad pitch, swing, and do that for more than just 8 to 10 reps. Like your mind cannot focus doing it that long. And that's when bad habits, start. That's when you start getting bad habits. Like give everything you have into those 8 reps and then let someone else go. Do those 8 reps to the best of your ability and then let someone else run in. And if you weren't successful in those 8 reps, then your next 8 reps, do it. Don't get 8 more. No, go regroup, go find yourself, and then come back and we'll do it again, 8 more, and that I was so guilty of that when I was younger. Like I just wanted to keep hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. And, and it's not giving up. It's not like, if you don't do it good, 8 and you just walk away, like it's not giving up. Like go breathe and come back, find a release, find something that clears your head, and come back and do the same thing. And that's hitting, that's fielding, anything. Like you don't have to sit there and throw the tennis ball at yourself 50 times. Do it 8 times. Great. Do it great 8 times and then go get your reps. Go get your ground balls. Go do, make your diving plays like you want to do, but get those, 8 feels, feel good, and then, move on to the next thing.
Oh, good stuff.
Well, that sounds good. And Bella, it's a second baseman and a pitcher, don't it, Don?
Yep.
She plays second base and a pitcher.
Okay.
Now we got McKenna. Or Makina?
Kenna Kirshner.
There you go. Let's see, we're working with Alex. Alex is behind the scene.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The good thing with McKenna's swing was she does have a lot of power. So imagine if she gets that whip going.
Yeah.
Along with it. That's when it all starts clicking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You said fix one little thing, and it's gonna make something else. Makes the rest of the swing kind of come together.
Yeah, definitely.
We're trying to get it set up here, and Alex is somewhere, guys. Don't worry about it. We're live. Remember, We're live, so bear with us here. We're getting everything set up with Alex. And we're back here. We're back here.
And the key is with all these, once again, it gets back to reps after reps. All right, so here's McKenna. She is very athletic. She's got to loosen a little.
Okay, I would say, like, this goes back to hitting, you know, be loose. Be loose, get low, you know, really work through the ball and beat the ball to a spot. Rather than, you know, there is a lot of times like the balls are hit hard and we're fielding them off the side of our body. But if you practice, you know, beating balls to spots and, you know, going 100 miles per hour to get there before the ball, you know, backhand plays are cool, they're fancy, you know, that kind of stuff. But just be low, be agile, and really work on fielding the ball between your legs. That will just make it that much more comfortable for you. And then you'll have like a higher rate of success, just because even if you do bobble the ball, it's going to hit you in your chest or it's going to hit you in your body and you have something behind you. And then you can get your other hand down there. Not that we want them both together, but down in the general area.
Yeah.
And that just, it'll make it, you know, that much easier.
And if you're playing second base, you get the extra time. Knock it down. Get the runner.
Yeah. We have so much time to look cool.
I think Olivia's next. She's a third baseman.
Okay. Okay, this isn't fielding, but this is throwing, okay? Let your backside come through. You see there, like when you go to throw, you kind of don't let your leg follow around. That's really big on every single position. Oh, you did it that time. That's really big on every, you know, position. Use all your power. You know, you have so much power, use it. You do really good moving through the ball, like really smooth. I would say with your backhands, just be, you know, it goes back to that hinge. Use your elbow below, everything below that. Try not to get, when you start using your arm, you get like that little stabby kind of movement, and that's when we start booting balls more.
Good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you in that one. And like always, remember the tip, girls and boys, try to slow down a little. You know, once you do the play, go back, gather yourself, and let's go. But we have to always understand too, at this moment, with all these problems with the pandemic, where a lot of the parents are the one out trying to help them, and they're not used to just practice with them and all that, because they got the coaches for that. But always remember, slow down. If you have to tell mom or dad or your brother, give me a second.
Slow it down.
Yeah, because then that's how you can get bad habit without knowing, and especially now that we're not playing. So we got
our goal here is to keep them working the video so they can keep this going during the pandemic.
There you go. We got McKenna again in the outfield now. Okay.
Nice little crow hop.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, it looks good. It's good that you know, in the outfield, it's so important to beat the ball, especially when we're making a play, because see how the first couple that you caught, you were moving your body before you caught it, which is good because that gives you that extra step. So work behind the ball, continue working behind the ball. And the more that we beat a ball to a spot, the easier it is to do that. And in the outfield, you know, your throw to the plate is the furthest, and that extra momentum is going to help you so much. So I would say continue you know, doing like you're doing, really getting to the spot and not just coasting to it. Making it out is making it out. At this level, you know, it doesn't matter how good it looks or how fancy it looks. Like, so yeah, those catching the ball on the run are nice, but if you're jogging doing it, you can sprint there and, you know, make it easier on yourself, and, you know, and an out is an out.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
And especially if someone like Alicia's on base, you gotta beat that.
Yeah, beat that ball to the spot. Beat that ball to the spot.
And always have in mind, you know, like we always do anything, you know, I have something in mind before it happened. Okay, Dad, throw me 3 fly balls. This time I'm gonna act like there's somebody in second base.
Yeah.
Just throw it, and I'm gonna act like there's somebody at first and third, 1 out.
Yeah.
Let me hit the ball this way, and let me see what I do. That's gonna get you, like what Elicia said, game situation. It's gonna keep you going. So we got Taylor Dolan now. I think, yeah, Taylor Dolan.
Lefty.
Yeah, and she's also a pitcher, very good pitcher.
Okay, I'm gonna be not a little critical. Okay, when you're doing like your easy reps, like the ball's thrown right to you, make sure you're still going 100%. Okay, because like the same thing with hitting, you know, it's muscle memory, and that's what your body gets used to doing. So still, if you're standing in center field and the ball's hit right to you, and you don't even have to move, but there's a runner on third, you got to get that momentum. So you've got to get behind the ball and then work through it again. So I would say practice that when you're doing, you know, your first balls are right to me. Work on taking those 2 steps back and then moving through the ball and catching it, because that's going to carry over come game time. You can tell you're pretty quick.
The momentum coming in at the ball, so you're ready to make the throw.
Yeah.
And sometimes like Elicia say, I mean, girls or boy, what we're trying to say pretty much is, if you catch it, you're not gonna throw it. Act that, you know, catch it and keep doing the whole thing, but don't throw it. You could just keep it in your hand.
Yeah.
But don't throw it, but at least get the whole thing going. That when it happened in the game, all of a sudden you don't do something like what you were doing in the grass or in the backyard, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this person scored, and I wasn't even ready for it.
Practice it like it's a game. Practice like a game.
Good stuff.
Well, Don, this is pretty good. That was the last video that we have for tonight. And I think, Elicia, you know, I guess we would like you to say something kind of like, you know, that covers everything that we did tonight, because it was just amazing having you here for that.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome to see you guys, you know, working, and to have like resources like this as a player. Like, it's so nice to, you know that you can go home, you can go outside with Dad, and, you know, Dad's gonna tell you this, and a lot of times Dad tells us stuff and it goes in one ear and out the other, you know. But I know when I was younger, like, I looked up to collegiate players so much, you know, and my dad can tell me something 100 times, but if, you know, when I was a catcher, if like Monica Abbott came and told me the same thing my dad told me 100 times, I was going to listen to it right there, you know? So just because it's not Dad, you know? So just having resources like this, like, really take advantage of them. And just, I think, like, a couple of things that we went over today, like, really pick one thing and work on it, rather than trying to fix so many different things at once. And that's, you know, defensively and offensively, like, don't try and change so much at one time, because then you're just going to get frustrated and, you know, jumbled up. So use those 8 to 10 reps and really work on things. Hitting, stay inside the ball, you know, really work through the ball, let your body be loose, have fun. Hitting is your time to shine, you know, like, that is your time to put runs on the board and to make the other team's defense look crazy. Like, so when you're hitting, just have fun with it. Be focused, be cool, calm, collective, relaxed. Like, defensively, I love defense. It's so much fun. Just continue moving through the ball. Our game is so fast, you know, we're not like baseball. We can't just sit back because, you know, the bases are the size of our fields. So understand how fast our game is and, you know, speed yourself up a little bit. Don't rush, don't go crazy, you know, but understand the older you get, the faster people get, the more athletic people get, and just compete, love the game. Softball's so much fun. You get to do what you love doing. Like I said earlier, you get to do what you love doing with the people you love doing it with. So like, embrace it, enjoy it. Really just close out everything when you're on the field and just play ball and have fun.
Nice, good stuff.
Yeah, that's girls and boys, because this add to everybody. Like this, you know, you can take the tip for everybody, the kids and the girls. And I think that's the main thing. I mean, compete against yourself, compete against anything that you want to make a competition, because trust me, once you get used to that, then everything else is going to come out easy because your confidence is going to be up. We've seen it with stories that we hear. Let's say, for example, Michael Jordan. I keep saying Michael Jordan used to compete in anything, even running to the field, running to here, playing golf. I mean, he would take anything literally to try to compete.
Anything, yes, anything. Playing cards, playing.
Yeah,
I'm a table flipper. Like if I'm losing at home in a game of cards, I flip the table. Like I don't like losing. Like don't like losing. You know, like I mean, don't like being on that middle line. You know, like. Yeah. Be in the top third. You have your sit back, whatever people, and then you have your people at work, and then you have your people that go get it. Like, be a go-getter. Like, be the top third of everything that you do. Like, be in that top 33%.
Yeah, I think that's, don't relax. Don't settle for nothing. Make sure, you know, that you keep working in everything. Like she said, work on your hitting today, work on your foot tomorrow, work on your arm tomorrow. Yeah. Trust me, it builds, that's the progress. It's the progress. You're not going to get better from one year to another, just everything going to click. That's not how it is. It takes a process. And once you get to the level that Elicia is, everything changed a little. It's throw a little harder, ball moves different, and they expect you to know more things. So they expect you to be prepared. And Dirt Dog, that's what we're trying to do at Dirt Dog, try to prepare you. And it doesn't have to be that you're going to be a college player or nothing, but that's your goal.
But you have a goal. To try have to get something. And
go get that goal. If it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. That's it. I didn't make it to the big league. I was a professional player, but at least I know I did everything I could to try to reach it. And that was being, oh my God, we got
it. Just get better every at bat. Get it better every inning. You know, you break it down to that level.
Yeah.
Right. Alex, you want to say something to end this?
No, man. Thank you. It was awesome. Elicia, thank you very much. We wish you all the best.
Of course. Thank you.
And we would like to have you again. That's how it is.
Of course. I'm here.
Getting a lot of texts from the players and the parents. They're enjoying the conversation. So I think it's huge. Stay safe.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And hope we can be back again.
Yeah, so thanks to Elicia, appreciate it. Like I said, you got a new fan out there in me. Alex Arnold, thanks as usual, and everyone that kind of stopped in and listened and sent off texts and sending questions. So once again, everyone appreciate it, and keep the feedback coming as well. We want to hear what you guys thought about how this whole interview went. I think it went great. Great to see the kids sending the videos. Players, if we heard anything tonight, it's keep working on it. That's what we keep pushing, is send the videos. We're going to critique your videos every time you send one in. So every day, get out there, do something. I love seeing them throwing balls off the house, off the chimney, working else, you know, you don't necessarily need someone. Get a tee, like Elicia said, tee and work on a different pitch or a different position each day. So once again, I just want to thank everyone. Arnold, what do you got?
Yeah, we're gonna be, just to remind everybody, Tuesday, 7 o'clock at night on Instagram, Their Dog Sport Their Dog Sport. We're gonna have Pablo Sandoval, and we're gonna have Alicia's gonna have to come to Instagram. She cannot just be on Facebook. She's gonna have to be part of Instagram too. So she'll be there too. Eventually, we're gonna get other people that we have lined up, and it's gonna be fun, guys. It's gonna be fun just for you guys. If you don't get to see it live, don't worry about it. The videos, they stay here. The ones that we do on Instagram, they come back here to Facebook. They do stay here. And Elicia, really, I mean, we wish you a lot of good luck.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on Elicia wherever the Puerto Rico baseball team goes. You have to keep an eye on her. We're gonna keep an eye on her.
He has Twitter. She has Instagram. She can go ahead so people can start following her.
Definitely. Okay, guys.
Go ahead and
So
say it.
One quick thing, send that resume too. We'll head coaching jobs out there with your name on it.
I'm working on it.
And you're my hero because you went to West Virginia to Marshall. So that's
Marshall, go
my hero
Herd.
there.
Go Herd.
Going to the Thundering Herd from where you were, that just, ooh, that's something.
It's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
What are your accounts so people can go ahead and follow you?
Okay, let's see. I honestly think they're all the same, so that makes it easier. It is my first name, so Elicia, then number 4, and then Marie, Marie, and that should be all of them.
Perfect. That, Alex, what we do.
And we'll set it up as well.
Yeah, we'll take a picture of the profile and then we'll set it up so you guys could see it too. So it was nice, and man, this was fun. I love doing this. So I
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is awesome.
Ready. Very good.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.